all, today we are going to discuss about the anatomy of skull. Skull is some extent compressible and made mainly by thin pliable bones forming the wall, and it is anchored to rigid and incompressible with the skull. Need of the study that it helps to identify the normal presentation and to identify any abnormal presentation and to facilitate the labor with the minimum trauma for both the mother and the fetus and to alert the medical staffs. So these are the major needs of the study about the anatomy of skull. Over here the areas of the skull. Skull has mainly three areas: vertex, brow and face. Vertex is a quadrangular area which is anteriorly bounded by the anterior fontanelle and coronal suture and posteriorly bounded by the lambda and lambular suture and laterally by two parietal eminence. The next part is brow. Brow which is anteriorly bounded by the anterior fontanelle and coronal suture and the other side up to the root of the nose to all the supraorbital ridges of either sides. The next part is face. Face is extend from the root of the nose and supraorbital edges of on either side to the floor of the mouth with neck. So these are the major areas of skull. Mainly the skull is formed by 14 bones and the major 7 bones are 2 frontal bones, 2 parietal bones, 1 occipital bones and 2 temporal bones. These are the major bones formed by the skull. And next about the sutures. First one is frontal suture. Frontal suture which is located in between the frontal bones. Next suture is coronal suture. Coronal suture located in between the frontal bones and the parietal bones. This is the coronal suture. Next one is sagittal suture. Sagittal suture which is located in between the 2 parietal bones, that is sagittal suture. And the last one is lambular suture. Lambular suture is formed between the parietal bones and the occiput. The fontanelles of skull. Skull has mainly 2 fontanelles, anterior fontanelle and posterior fontanelle. This anterior fontanelle is otherwise known as brecma and posterior fontanelle is otherwise known as lambda. Moving on to the first one, that is brecma. Brecma which is anteriorly bounded by the frontal suture and posteriorly by the sagittal suture and laterally by the coronal suture, which is diamond shaped structure and mainly closed at 12 to 18 months. Next one is posterior fontanelle, is otherwise known as lambda. Lambda which is anteriorly bounded by the sagittal suture and on either side the lambular suture. It will be closed within 1.5 months. The important part, that is landmarks of skull: occiput, subocciput, sinciput, mentum, submentum, parietal eminence, temporal bones and the vertical plane. These are the major landmarks of a skull. Next, moving on the diameters of skull. First one is anterior-posterior diameter. In anterior-posterior diameter, the first one is suboccipito-brecmatic diameter. The suboccipito-brecmatic diameter which extends from the nape of the neck to the cortex of the brecma, which will be 9.5 cm. Next one is suboccipito-frontal. The suboccipito-frontal diameter which will extend from the nape of the neck to the anterior end of anterior fontanelle, that is 10 cm. And the next one is occipito-frontal, which will be extended from the eminence of occiput to the root of the nose. This is 11.5 cm. Next one is mento-vertical. Mento-vertical, which will be extended from the midpoint of the chin to the highest point of sagittal suture. This is 14 cm. Submento-vertical. Submento-vertical extends from the midpoint of the junction of floor of mouth with neck to the highest point of sagittal suture, brecma, which will be 11.5 cm. Next one is submento-brecmatic. Submento-brecmatic extends from the midpoint of the junction of floor of the mouth with neck to the center of the brecma, that is 9.5 cm. Next, about the transverse diameter of skull. First one is biparietal diameter. Biparietal diameter which will be located in between the 2 parietal eminence, that is 9.5 cm. Bimastoid diameter. Bimastoid diameter located in between the 2 mastoid process, that is 7.5 cm. Bitemporal diameter. Bitemporal diameter which will be located in between the 2 anterior end of the coronal suture, which is 8 cm. Super subparietal diameter. The super subparietal diameter which will be located above the parietal eminence to the below the opposite end of parietal eminence, that is 8.5 cm. So that's all about